with it, who we have here is our girls cross country program, and we're excited for this fall. I'm going to have Coach Bowden to open up a little bit about last year and then lead into what you plan for this year.
Wonderful. Thanks for having us today. So last year, the team placed fifth in the SWSC and qualified for the sectional meet where they improved on the previous year's experience by finishing 12th. We actually had a senior, Chloe Miller, who was the first individual out of the state. So I thought that was disappointing, but overall a very successful year. We graduated 12 seniors, which meant we kind of have to have a next man up mentality this year. We returned 2 varsity runners, one of whom is Celeste next to me, the other Ellie Trench, who splits time between swimming and cross country. So, with the graduating class big like last year, a lot of senior leadership gone, it's kind of a reloading sort of year. We have to have that next man up mentality where, okay, juniors like Carly Smith or Peyton Gunling or Danity Poppy and others have to rise to the occasion and be ready to tackle the challenges in front of them. So I think we're gonna surprise a lot of people this year. A lot of the kids who experienced fresh off are now ready for varsity. We've got a good incoming class of freshmen, 6 people coming in right now, and I think some of them could be strong on varsity as the year goes on. So we're looking forward to a great year.
Coach Bowden does a great job scheduling and trying to get our programs into the best races and meets or invites that we can. Celeste, we'll start with you first here. What is your favorite course, and why do you enjoy that course?
My favorite course is probably Midlothian and Tinley Park, because every year I've placed there, and I'm really hoping this year I can place again.
On the flip side, there's probably one there you may not like as much. Is there any course that kind of challenges you a little bit more than the others?
The Lockport Conference and Pre-Conference course. Every year is kind of hard with no shade, but unfortunately it is a PR course, so it's helpful, but it's not my favorite.
And Carly, same thing. What is your favorite course to run into?
My favorite course is the Lockport Conference course because I like the sun, and I like all the hills, and I PR on it every year. And
one that you don't like as much, I guess?
My least favorite is probably the Shanahan course because there's a lot of acorns and things you can slip on, and it's very narrow. So
yeah, that took you down one year, right?
Yeah.
A lot of black walnuts as the fall goes on. Easy to trip out. Roots, rocks, yeah, kind of rugged.
You guys run the cleats, or not cleats, but flats, or tennis shoes?
You want to answer that one?
I want to run in spikes this year because I've heard a lot of good things, but I've always been scared to because I need a lot of comfort on my feet, and I've always felt comfortable with my running shoes.
I really enjoy running in spikes, and I like how they feel like you're running barefoot, kind of.
So entirely up to the runner?
It is, and actually, even with, traditionally it's between spikes and trainers, but with the advent of super shoes, carbon-plated racers, a lot of kids running those now too. That they don't have the cleats, spikes in them, but they are light and pretty good on courses where the grass is kind of matted down and hard. But yeah, it really varies. Some courses, like, you got to wear spikes on this because it's all grass and it's wet and slippery. Other courses, one of the races we run, which is at Oak Forest or Granite City a couple years ago, a lot of the races on concrete. So wear regular running shoes on those days.
You said PR course. Does that mean you guys know that's one where you're probably going to have the best times?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay, so it's kind of like assumed most people that go there are like, we're going for PR today. Okay.
But it is funny because it can vary. For instance, Celeste saying that Lockport least favorite course, I was saying one of her favorite courses, that there are certain courses that just bring out the best in runners. I think Celeste, in her experience at Midlothian Meadows and Tinley Park, is a good example because that's not usually a super fast course, but she runs very fast there. Okay, and there are other times where Detweiler Park in Peoria, for a lot of people, is seen as a very fast course, but I know my kids and my own kids in the past running in Lincoln Way Central haven't had good experiences there. So it really depends. Sometimes runners they find a course that matches their personality and their training style, and they just go.
Since we're on the course talk, I've seen on social media sometimes, as you're running, animal comes out. I think I seen the one with the deer where it takes out runners, and all of a sudden it happens. Have you ever been a part of that? And maybe Coach Bowden, because you probably have longer coaching experience than maybe Celeste, obviously, but Celeste and Carly, maybe not as many opportunities for that to happen. But can you talk to us? What was one of the weirdest things that happened on the course? Have you had an animal come out or any of that?
Any stories?
I don't really have any stories of like animals, but a lot of like just slipping on like the mud and like having to get back up and then pretend like it didn't happen around the rest of your race.
Carly?
Last year at the Shanahan course in the woods, a bunch of girls fell on top of each other, and you just had to run around them. And some people stay down, so you never know.
When they were younger, I don't know if either of you were on this run with Morgan Solis when she found the giant. It was not at a race, but in the woods at Shanahan, she found a giant snapping turtle, and picked it up, and they took a picture of her holding a giant snapping turtle in the middle of the woods, which was pretty fun. Probably this was not in a high school race. It was in a college race. It was on a farm, and fortunately there was a fence, but a horse stampede kind of took off nearby. They were running alongside the actual cross-country runners. So that was probably one of the more adventurous things I've seen in a college race. Of course, yeah. Occasionally we'll see lots of animals when we're just out on training runs. Deer, especially.
Once there was this really long like snake at Waterfall Glen. I remember everyone was like, "Oh, watch out for it."
Have that.
Yeah. As a coach and also as a dad, you kind of get tuned in to the screams of children. It's like you're really panicked at first, and then you realize, oh, it's just a garter snake, a 6-inch garter snake. But it's scary, right?
Yeah.
In the moment.
So as you guys train, a lot of times sometimes you're on campus, sometimes you're off campus, and that part of training, that mental mindset. I get it. Like you probably don't want to go in circles all the time, but when you're fighting through adversity in that middle part of that course, and you don't want to lag back, what are some of the things in your own mind, Celeste, that you try to get through? You fight those demons. What do you do to do that?
Honestly, I kind of like, sometimes I'll just imagine myself like not running and be like, okay, well in like 10 minutes I won't be running anymore. Or I'll think of like a TV show, like, oh, in this scene this girl does this, and then that's the same amount of time that I'm running for. Or I'll just think like about before I run like a track race, because track races are a lot shorter. Like it's only 3 minutes of my life, and it'll be over soon.
Only 3 minutes. That's Carly, how about you?
I try to listen to my teammates, and I try to listen to my mom when she's around the course, because I like listening to like them yelling at me, and I'm like, okay, I'll be done in 10 minutes, you know?
Okay. So is there anything you want to tell your future seniors or leaders how to fight through that? Like how do you prepare for a match? How about that? For me.
Something I really like thinking is that, for example, if I run 6 miles one day and then I have a 3-mile race, I'd be like, well, I've ran a lot more than this. I've ran this race a million times. Even if a middle schooler's coming in only running 2 miles, they still know what it's like to run a course. And they still know that they have the support of their team at all times. Because something I love about cross country is you always have your team, and especially your coaches. Because sometimes whenever I see Bowden at like a mile mark, I'll be like, oh, now I only have like 2 miles left or 1 mile left.
Only 2 to go.
Yeah.
Coach, one thing, I guess, I don't know if I said that the boys addressing, but I ran across 12 across country, so one thing that's interesting when you're younger is like, you kind of like instinctively start slow because you go so long. How do you get runners out of that and be like, look, you can go a little faster, you'll be okay.
Well, there's always a push-pull there because, on the one hand, it's good to get out fast and get in position. On the other hand, I do tell the runners, you can't win the race in the first 400 meters because there's so much more to go, but you can definitely lose it if you decide to sprint a quarter mile and then now you've got 2 3/4 miles to go. So it's kind of about moderation, I think, for a lot of kids, in that, making sure you get in a good position, making sure you go out fast enough. Remember, you're in a race. while also not so fast that you're already in oxygen dead and you don't have anything left for the end of it. Okay, it's about, and every kid is going to have a different strategy. Some kids going out fast, that's the way to go, okay, because it gets them in a good position. Some kids like to creep up throughout the race. Some kids like to kind of go out in the middle and just try to pass a few people every quarter mile, every half mile, and move up throughout the race. So it really depends a lot on the runner. We try to tailor different strategies to different kids as the season goes on. Once we've seen them out there, once we figure out, okay, this strategy works, this strategy doesn't, we'll see.
Awesome. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys run, or you ladies running. Sorry. This year, you're doing an excellent job. Keep up the tradition, and good job. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.